On May 21st, 2023, 25-year-old British tourist Liam Kilby was on holiday in Phuket when he lost control of his motorbike. He swerved, skidded, and was launched through a shop window. The glass shattered, slicing his body and slashing Liam across the throat. According to his sister, he had chunks of glass sticking in his head, his face, his hands, everywhere. His friend pulled the glass out of his throat, thinking it would help, and the blood all went down. An ambulance was called, and he died in the back of the ambulance from blood loss. Thankfully, Liam was resuscitated, but he'd already lost a tremendous amount of blood from the accident. He was rushed to Vachira Hospital, Phuket, where he was diagnosed with post-cardiac syndrome and kidney failure. But Liam's troubles didn't stop there though. 6,000 miles away, as they were still reeling with the shock and devastation of the accident, Liam's family was slapped with thousands of pounds in medical bills that they needed to pay to ensure that he could keep getting the healthcare that he needed to survive, leaving them with a race against time to make sure Liam could get the funds he needed to return home safely. This is not a rare occurrence in Thailand. About 62 people every single day die in road traffic accidents in Thailand. And foreign tourists account for around 2,886 deaths every single year in Thailand. Just the last month leading up to making this video, a Swiss man has been left in a coma in Pattaya, 2 British citizens were killed in Phuket, a Welshman has been left permanently paralysed from the waist down after a traffic accident, and a total of 287 people were killed over a 3-day period during the Songkran festival. The purpose of this video is not to convince you not to ride a scooter in Thailand. I'm not your fucking mother. You can do what you want. The purpose of this video, however, is to give you the tools and information to allow you to make an informed decision of whether or not you should rent and ride a scooter in Thailand. Let's start by taking a look at why Thai roads are so dangerous. At least 20,000 people die on Thailand's roads every year, making them the 9th most dangerous roads in the world. Believe it or not, this is actually progress for Thailand. Just a few years ago, Thailand was ranked as the 2nd most dangerous roads in the world, sitting just behind Libya. You know, that war-torn country with landmines on the roads? In the UK, a country with a similar sized population, the death toll per year is around 1,800. This means it's literally 10 times more dangerous to ride a bike or a scooter in Thailand than it is in the UK. 75% of all Thai road deaths are drivers of 2 or 3-wheel vehicles. This means there's at least 15,000 deaths on a scooter or a motorbike each year, making it by far the most dangerous country in the world to ride a scooter. But why are the roads so dangerous here in Thailand? Unlike the other countries near the top of the road death list, Thailand's infrastructure is actually fairly well developed. The roads are far from perfect here, but it's hardly dirt roads and wooden bridges. On top of that, Thailand has some of the better healthcare systems in the whole of Southeast Asia, with approximately 1 million people flying in the country each year to receive treatment. So what's gone so wrong? One of the major issues in the country is the sabai-sabai attitude towards law enforcement and road safety. Sabai-sabai is a Thai phrase that roughly translates into relax or take it easy. This is why Thailand is such a great country to come to enjoy a beach holiday, but it's not a great attitude to have when trying to enforce national road safety standards. Road safety rules and regulations are often unenforced in Thailand, and the people here have a relaxed attitude towards wearing a helmet, speeding, and drink driving. Researchers found that only 51% of drivers and only 10% of passengers actually wear a helmet when on the road. According to a study by the International Health Policy Program, if every driver and passenger used a helmet in Thailand, 6,984 deaths could be prevented annually, and the overall death rate due to traffic accidents could be reduced by 1/3. Similarly, drink driving causes approximately 6,000 deaths per year, meaning that these 2 simple actions could save around 12,000 lives every year. I think this is how people come to Thailand, then they're lulled into this false sense of security by looking around and seeing what others are doing, without being able to see the damage behind the statistics of the shocking road deaths and accidents in Thailand. That's not to mention the amount of foreign tourists that come here and rent a bike that have never ridden one before. I've lost count of the amount of times I've seen tourists bouncing along the sides of the road, clearly not being able to control their bike. In order to legally rent a bike in Thailand, you're supposed to have an international driver's license, and this should prove that you're capable of riding a bike. However, most rental companies won't ask you for this international driver's license before renting you one. In places like Phuket and Chiang Mai, where a lot of these accidents happen, you'll see a lot of police checkpoints making sure that tourists have the required identification and licenses to be able to ride a bike. And if you're caught without one, it's quite possible you'll be prosecuted and made to pay a fine. Now, what I find most strange around the conversation around this is that most people will say that it's unfair on the tourists because the police are corrupt and they're just looking for a payday. But guess what? It's also the law. So what happens if you do get into an accident? Well, first of all, you're going to need to be transported to a hospital. The number for emergency services is 1669, and they will supposedly be able to transfer you to someone that speaks English, but how good is their English? I don't know. I wouldn't want to take that risk. In Thailand, it's actually better to call a specific hospital. The problem with that is you have to know in advance which hospital you're going to have an accident near, and they'll be the quickest one to be able to send an ambulance out to you to pick you up. But you better pray it's not rush hour, because traffic here gets pretty bad. In Thailand, foreign tourists fall under the private healthcare system. This means that if you need to see a doctor, you need to pay, which means if you require serious surgery, you may need to guarantee a payment before you have the surgery. This means that if you cannot pay, you might die. In fairness, in the case of a serious injury, it's unlikely they'll make you pay beforehand. They will take you in for the surgery to try and save your life. But one of the biggest shocks in an emergency like this can be the financial burden on your family and the emotional stress it requires for them to be able to raise the money to help you. Let's take a look to the guy that we looked at the beginning of the video, Liam Kilby, and what his family had to do. In order to be able to help him, his family had to raise £20,000 for flights and medical bills. A week after the crash, his sister Molly said, "We're trying to raise funds for flights home and for the final bill payments. He won't be allowed to leave until the bill is completed. We've paid £12,500, but they are still very demanding for the rest. They would like to discharge him within 2 or 3 days, but would like the bill fully paid off first." She went on to say that they had exhausted all of their options to find the remaining £4,000 to get him home. She asked for one last push to raise the money on Liam's GoFundMe page, which had already raised around £17,000. This is why it's so important to take out medical insurance before coming to Thailand, but also to fully understand the details of the insurance policy. Most policies will not cover you if you're intoxicated while driving, not wearing a helmet, or do not have the required license to drive the bike. But one thing I've learned the hard way during my time in Thailand under the private healthcare system is that insurance companies are sneaky little and they will try their best not to cover the full cost of the surgery if they don't absolutely have to. There was a case of a British man the other year who thought he was 100% covered by his medical insurance as he'd taken it out for the whole year of traveling. What he didn't realize was that this policy required him to travel home every month in order to ensure the validity of his insurance policy. And he was left having to cover the full cost of the payments by himself despite having taken out insurance. In 2023, there were a total of 23 British citizens that were forced to appeal for financial help through sites like GoFundMe. The price of healthcare funds ranged from £25,000 to £300,000, with the average cost being £100,000. But what if you die? Well, your family is still going to have to pay for your body to be repatriated back to your home country, with the average cost of a corpse transported to Europe being £10,000 or £5,000 for cremated ashes. Even if you don't have a large hospital bill, you're still going to have to cover the cost of the damage to the bike. The most dangerous place in the country for foreigners to ride a bike is Chiang Mai, with 49 deaths per year. Then Bangkok, where 44 foreigners were killed last year. 44 in Chiang Mai, meaning in Pattaya, and 33 in Phuket. So I run a Thailand specialized travel agency, and sometimes my clients ask me whether or not it's worth it to do a bike tour whilst in Thailand. And I would always say yes. Some of the best experiences I've had in Thailand have been driving on a scooter and exploring the country. I do, however, always advise them to take the necessary precautions, telling them to make sure that they have valid insurance and know the terms of that insurance policy, have an international driver's license, have some emergency funds just in case, know the nearest hospital and have a contact number for it. Don't drink and drive. I mean, come on. And most importantly, to wear a fucking helmet.